Ah, yes, the drama. So, judging from the title, you'll be able to know what we're talking about. But if you just happen to click on the video and not know, um, there's been some recent Iron Man community drama, which is kind of rare considering who's in the community, how big the community is, these type of issues. And although I was going to save this for the ramble that comes out on Friday, I do a ramble every month or so, mid-month, and this one was scheduled for Friday. I thought this one warranted its own separate video. So I'm going to take you through, to the best of my ability, the whole saga behind the collapse of Erudite and see where it all plays into. So for this story, there's three main characters. There's Situation, Tyler. That's one main character. There's Iron Cub, or Ireland now. That's the second main character. And the third character is Fraser. And I'll be touching on all of these characters as the story goes on. But first we need to go way back to a time where one Mr. Lasby left the clan. Now, this was, I can't remember whether this was before or after the solitary split, but the solitary split is also a major part of it. But so Lasby left, and I think the cited reason was just more competitiveness. He wanted a more competitive environment for skilling. He was just about to blow the fuck up in terms of the amount of hours he's pulling and how dedicated he was to the game. And that was okay, but I already had in my mind that it's kind of a telltale worry when your best players start leaving, because that's when you fucked up. It's okay if your lower level players leave, because they aren't really the intrinsic members. It would always be the case where it would just be like, I don't know, a group of 8 of us who are all kind of high ranked in the system would all hop on Discord and talk to each other and that type of thing. But when one of them leaves and goes to a different clan, you're like, shit, maybe they're onto something. But you kind of stay out of loyalty. You're not as dedicated to the game as they are, so you kind of stick where you are. Plus, you've been in the clan for a year and a bit now. It's your first proper big clan, and it's Iron Man specific. You can't really get into a main clan really. Lasby was one of the first to really do it. So that was a thing. Then Parker left. Actually, again, I don't necessarily know order this, but these are 4 major things, right? 4 kind of major red flags. So then Parker left, and that was also interesting. Because again, the reason kind of cited was, he was a leader by this time, and I'm not sure about the dynamics between him and the other leaders, but again, the reason cited was, he just wanted to, he was a leader in other capacities in his own life, and he wanted to relax a bit more when playing RuneScape, so he decided to step down. But the interesting thing about him stepping down was that he didn't step down into the clan, just back into the clan. I think he did for a bit, and then he decided to go to Omnia. So there's something telling there, as opposed to, in terms of him not feeling like he could, just be himself and relax there. There's some tensions with certain people around, and that's fine. Maybe it's just some of the members, maybe it's some of the leadership. But again, if you were around when I was around, the Discord chats, in terms of being able to communicate with Cub, then what Parker was saying about communicating with Cub and the other leader, I think Tom as well. Tom has nothing to do with this, by the way. Tom's a nice guy. I'll leave him out of this whole thing. Something also comes up the same reason that Lasby left, and it's kind of like another red flag. You're like, okay. And then his one of the big major red flags. Again, this is before the whole drama that happened a couple of days ago, or just yesterday even. This is when the clan Solitary came out. Now, Solitary is a Iron Man PVM clan, and it was created by Bertil, No Way Out, and Aloe. Now, Aloe was he's still one of the highest ranked Iron Man, and he was in Erudite for a while. But most of the reasons why he was kind of disadvantaged with the clan in general was because, one, there was a lack of community cohesion, I feel like, and there's some issues I can have with his criticisms with how the clan was being run. For example, most of us were just in our own separate Flower Power Discord. We weren't using the main Discord, so we said, okay, we'll use the main Discord. Also, all the while Aloe was using his own Discord, so he was being the same things that he was saying about. But I'll move past that. That's kind of neither here nor there. I don't I'll say it on reflection now. I don't blame him for what he was doing, because I kind of guess the disenfranchisement with the whole Erudite project from his perspective. This is just my perspective on reading into that particular situation. So he decided to make an Iron Man PVM clan, and they had their own separate Rex, and about half, like pretty much half of the somewhat higher ranks in Erudite, because we go on EHP, but most of the Iron Men that were in the clan at the time were PVMers, they weren't skillers. So if we went off EHP, but then most of the people in there were just skilling anyway, they were just raiding and all that stuff, most of them weren't in CC most of the time anyway, then it makes kind of perfect sense for them to go and do something which they're actually, properly wanting to do. The only reason they do like herb lore or something is for potions for raids, that type of thing. Like they only do RD for the stamina potions for raids. Like they don't care about 200 mils at all, really. I mean, some of them do, like KT for instance, but some of them don't, and they just want a PVM, and that's one of the main parts of the game. So it makes perfect sense for them to have their own little thing. Now, I think part of the negotiation between that type of split was to have like an Erudite PVM section, so it would still be under the umbrella of Erudite. Just that would be a separate thing. So they would be like an Erudite PVM channel, Erudite CC channel. So you had the skiller section and the PVM section, and the main motivation behind that was so we were all the Iron Men who knew each other, because there aren't many of us that are high level, or we consider like high level in terms of the way we were ranking things. So to keep everyone under one umbrella would be very beneficial to the growth and the kind of the security of the community, really. But something happened. I can't quite pin it down, but something happened to the point where the solitary leaders felt like it was pertinent enough to split completely. So they made their own separate thing. And I feel if I remember correctly, this is going from memory, I don't have any logs on me. I have logs for the other stuff, but I don't have logs in front of me now. From what I remember, what was I going to say? From what I remember, it was all about, I think Cub and Aloe had a disagreement. Yeah, so I think Cub felt like Aloe wasn't talking to him enough or something, or like they weren't going through him, or they weren't negotiating or whatever. And it was as if it was done behind his back, like no one knew. So what ended up happening was most people left without telling Cub. And this will be an issue that keeps coming up, because I saw it in the Erudite Discord. I saw it in the message you posted, Cub, before you kicked me from it, or you moved me from it. I saw that. So about telling him, like he likes to have people tell him that they're leaving, out of a sign of respect, and I'll get that as a sign off. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So yeah, people didn't tell him. A few people all kind of left, and we were kind of bewildered. We didn't really know what to do. It was kind of a confusion thing. We just lost half our members. We're kind of a laughing stock of all the skilling communities, and all the skilling clans, and it was kind of a rough time. So what we decided to do is, I think this is we decided to lower the Rex and have like a trial month or something, where we just like get people in who were looking to join like a high level Iron Man clan, but didn't have the Rex quite yet. We got a couple people from there. So Gary, shout out to Gary. We got Fat Man as well. I know a Fat Man even. I know he was a fan of mine, who wanted to join Erudite as well, kind of like me when I was looking up to the Erudite back when I was trying to max as well. So we got a few new people coming through. But it just didn't quite feel the same, because it felt like we were compromising ourselves just to keep the name going. And I think at that point, Cub was doing a lot to try and keep it together, but it was already a sinking ship by that time. I probably should have saw it coming and left then. Probably either joining Solitary and changing my playstyle, or joining a main clan or something like that. But I guess I decided to stay out of loyalty, or I didn't want to be seen as disloyal. That's like another thing, because again, I'll get to this at the end. I didn't feel like Cub warranted the amount of loyalty that people gave him, mainly because of what happened next was that Tyler got banned. And if you didn't know, like, the intrinsic part of that Tyler played in keeping the Iron Man community together, he pretty much was the community. Him getting banned the first time was like, yeah, sure, but he had an ult, and he just went super hard, and he was like a liaison between most of the HLC throughout the other main section, and he would always hang around and answer questions, and just like be such a nice guy. when he got banned, it for bullshit reasons, by the way, it's a completely false ban. Like he shouldn't be banned, by the way. Jag gets fucked up on that one. It just kind of put a downer on me, at least. I can only speak for me in this sense. I didn't want to play. Like, most of my plans for the future were I'd finish up, I can't remember what I was doing. Oh yeah, I was finish up thieving, and then I'd go join Tyler doing herbivore until like he was done. And then I'd probably go join someone else doing some other goal. Like if Parker was still playing, I'd probably, when he finished mining and he wanted to do some agility or something, I'd just come skill with him, for example, you know, those type of things. Most of my plans in the future were kind of wrapped around, one, doing what they were doing, because I was going to do that anyway, and two, doing it because like they inspired me to do it. Like it's quite encouraging to have someone you can just like talk to in a Discord and just like play and shit. And it's a weird feeling when that's gone. It's just like, shit, I wasn't, you know, maybe I wasn't doing it for myself. Maybe I was doing it just to, I don't know, impress someone, or I got inspired by someone. And then as soon as they get banned for bullshit reasons, and they decide not to come back, that's just like hurt, man. Hurt didn't like personally hurt, but it hurt the community to the point where our leader was gone. Now, if you know anything about leadership, you know you can't just like de facto become a leader. You have to be seen as one. You can't just call yourself one and have everyone treat you as one when the real leader is gone. And I feel like that dynamic between, and this wasn't like an overtly like conflicted dynamic between Cub and Tyler, but Tyler was definitely seen by everyone who matters to be the leader of the Arma community. And as soon as he was gone, it was over, and no one could really replace him at all. Like you couldn't, you just couldn't do it. And anyone who like probably would have tried would have failed and probably done more damage than harm, more damage than good. So, this is where I felt kind of disenfranchised by the whole Erudite project. It'd been like a month or two after Tyler got banned, or this has just been leading up to the point, and Tyler got banned was kind of like the straw on the camel's back, where there weren't. I don't think anyone joined the clan or anyone applied. I checked the forum before I left. I don't think anyone applied for like a month straight. I might be wrong about that, but it got to the point where it's like no new faces came in. The people who were in the clan, I didn't know. A few people at the top I still knew, but I talked to them on a one-on-one basis anyway if we had any questions. Like I wasn't using the clan to liaison with anyone. I wasn't using the clan to communicate with anyone. I was just you know, asking them on Discord if they had any spreadsheets or stuff like that. So I didn't need the clan anymore. So I thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna derank myself. I'm gonna ask for a smiley and just peace out, because I can basically play without it and still do. Like it's worrying for two reasons. That when you leave, no one asks you why. Like Cub didn't ask me why. They speculated. Like I think Tom just said, "Oh, you're going to Omnia, are you?" I'm like, "Well, not yet. I'm kind of going to see how the clanless thing goes." But like, no one asked me what issues were you having, why are you leaving, and no one cared. Like Cub didn't care enough to ask me why I left. It was just kind of like, okay, bye then. It's like, well, shit, man. Like if and I'm not trying to be arrogant here, but if one of your top players leave, it's just like, aren't you gonna like do anything about that? Surely that's a giant sign. Especially after two of your other top players, Lasby and Parker, left, and they didn't feel bad about it, and then Tyler got banned. Surely that should be another warning sign. Yeah, so there's that really. I said there were two things, but I forgot the other one. Yeah, so I left, and I felt and here's the second thing. I left and nothing changed in my head. In fact, I felt better for not being in the clan, and that's always a worry. Like I didn't miss anyone, mainly because I already knew everyone that I needed to know in the clan, and Cub wasn't one of those people who I talked to on a regular basis. He wasn't someone he wouldn't be someone I'd go to if I had a problem with something. Like it was kind of under the assumption that like I was already past discussing it, and I kind of assumed that nothing would change. Like he was that type of person. And that where like, okay, just like if there's an issue here, nothing's going to change as long as he's around. So that's just how I felt really. So I left and I played still pretty actively after after I left. A guy kind of went inactive for a bit, on and off. Played some WoW. And then I get a Discord message from Fraser like 2 days ago saying, look, everyone's leaving. We're merging into Omnia. You should join us. And I'm like, oh shit. Oh shit. So it was like 5:30 in the morning. I'd like passed out with my clothes on, like it wasn't good. I didn't have my PJs. And I woke up in like a delirious mess to all these like Discord messages. It's like, dude, it's going down. We need you. Now, there's a bit of history to Fraser messaging me at 5:30 in the morning my time, because time zones are hard and shit. Basically, during what I all just said about Lasby leaving, Parker leaving, me leaving, Tyler getting banned, the solitary thing, Fraser has been first and foremost the main bulwark behind keeping the Iron Man community like strong and prosperous, especially after Tyler got banned, like especially after, because I think he saw it as a bigger sign of like weakness than Cub did in terms of keeping community together. And that sounds really gay, but like that's just how it was seen, really. And you kind of need to know, you kind of need to be in it to kind of know like how tight knit we were before Tyler got banned and the solitary split happened. So Fraser was definitely talking to me, and I only thought he was talking to me about the dissatisfaction with it, because he asked me why I left, and I told him why I left. I said I was kind of disenfranchised by it. I wanted to see how clan was happening, and I didn't lose anything from being in there. No, I didn't gain anything from being in there. So why was I there supporting, like putting my name behind it? I didn't need to. I didn't want to be associated with something which was failing. So I left. And I told him all this, and he's like, yeah, cool. I want to try and get get a higher level community back. Because one of the things I said to Fraser as well is I felt like this is just a side topic. I feel clan recs in general just aren't high enough. Like I feel there should be like the undisputed best clan. Like I feel like there should be like super high recs for most things. Like PVM clans, for example. If Infernal Cape wasn't like a month after it came out like a rec for your clan, you're just not an elite clan. And that kind of puts a stain on your reputation as elite for like the rest of history, because you didn't put the highest pinnacle of PVM skill as one of your recs. Therefore you can't call yourself a high level PVM clan, because there were members in there who weren't able to prove themselves to the highest capabilities. I wanted a skinning clan kind of like that, to where I could ask, like I wanted to be like with the stats I am now and the HP I'm at now, like one of the lowest people. So just so I had something to aspire to. I was kind of getting to the point where I was nearing the top. I'm like top page high scores, top page HP, like top 20 HP, and you know, you can't really ask for much more in an Iron Man community. You can't really ask for much more recs without like completely gutting the whole size of the community. But then maybe that's what I wanted, like a smaller, tight knit thing with like just the people I used to hang out with, minus the Erudite framework. So Fraser was talking about getting a Discord together. Talking to a few other people about just having our own little thing, but the main thing me and Fraser were both in agreement on. Me and Fraser don't get along, by the way. Like we get along now, but there was a period of time where like I fucking hated that dude. Like he got me real good in one of, like we had a giant spat over like just gay drama shit back in the Erudite day, and he was right 100% about it, but I got too emotional about it. So like, I'm not going to talk to you ever again, basically. But no, we get along fine. We get along okay now. But yeah, so this is one issue to where like just because Fraser's involved doesn't mean that he's like it's all negative on his end. There's definitely information you don't know. Anyway, so yeah, he was talking to me about it, and I was like, yeah, you should probably do that, but I'm probably not going to be involved because I'm not playing the game that much anymore. Just because, like, ever since Tyler got banned and I left the clan, I don't really have any goals. I don't really feel like it. Plus, I'm playing another game now anyway. So, hey. But then I got informed today, before I started making the video, that Fraser wasn't just talking to me, but he was talking to other people as well. I'm not going to name names unless they want to be named. But he showed me logs to very high level people in the Iron Man community, like higher than me. And I mean, I'm 24 in high school, so you just need to look up, see who was an Erudite, and kind of guess exactly who we're talking about here. But saying I'm just burned out. I don't want to play anymore. I'm going to leave Erudite. I'm going to quit the game. I'm just going to peace out. And Fraser was also talking to this individual about, you know, making our own little higher level thing, kind of getting the gang back together because we don't really talk anymore. Side note: the Erudite Discord was completely dead. No one was talking in it. No one talked in the CC pretty much. And if we did, it was just like fucking 73 memes, smoke boaty, etc. Like what the fuck? No discussion happening whatsoever. Just basic shit Iron Man CC questions, that type of thing. Yeah, so Fraser got this message from this one person, and he's like, okay, I'm going to sort this out now. So Fraser went around and talked to pretty much everyone who was like three bananas and up, like maybe like 2 to 3 bananas up in Erudite, and was just like, yo, we're doing this thing. And I've seen the logs. Everyone said, yeah, 100% behind it. Let's go. Let's just go now. A few people were like, if it's only 3 or 4 of us, I don't really want to do it. But then like everyone got on board. So everyone you saw move over to Omnia, minus me, because I'm separate from this because I wasn't part of the clan anymore. But anyone who was still in the clan who moved to Omnia were like 100% straight away, which really tells you something. It doesn't tell you it. Like Fraser's quite manipulative. He can be to get his own way. I've seen it happen. He's done it to me. But it could have been anyone really. It's really telling that the foundations of this whole merger happened so quickly. So this wasn't like a sudden thing. Like I've been listing out the events that happened in the past. Fraser's been talking to all the people who left, plus a few others who haven't joined yet but will be, about you know, breaking up the clan, doing this thing. And here's the kicker: it wasn't as if Cub didn't know. Cub knew. He definitely knew. Cub definitely knew about Fraser's intentions to keep the community together. Cub definitely knew about dissatisfaction with most of the people in the clan. Cub didn't ask me about anything when I decided to leave, which either tells you he didn't care or he didn't want to know, or kind of just assumed. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And I don't want to attribute malice when there's just like ignorance behind it, but you'd probably want to care if someone's leaving if you're a leader of the number 1 Iron Man clan. I don't know. So yeah, the Omnia merge happened, and I'm just gonna say this: Omnia, especially Omar the bro, he's been 100% accommodating. If you're an Iron Man now and you're listening to this and you have the Rex for Omnia, join Omnia right away. Even if you're in solitary and you have a little bit of skilling in you, join it right away, because we have our own Discord channel, we have our own voice chat, we have our own little community. We have the community Fraser wanted to build, but it's within the Omnia framework, and we couldn't ask for anything better really, because we're behind the number 1. We're behind like the highest ranked skilling clan basically in terms of members. And I unironically put out the tweet, Omnia number 1 Iron Man skilling clan, because it is. Like, where's the lie really? After everyone who left Erudite to join Omnia, where's the lie? We are the number 1 Iron Man skilling clan. There's no better Iron Man skilling clan than Omnia, especially with the infrastructure that we have. We just trust me in this, and it's only ever going to get better. We have big plans for the Iron Man side of Omnia, and it can only get better from here. So if you want to be part of it, then feel free. So yeah, the merge happened, and I decided to not be clanless anymore, and now I'm in Omnia. So I'm ranked, I'm official, that's it. I'm back in the clan, and yeah, it just feels good, man. Like, I have a giant pepe on my face. It feels good to kind of have the gang back together. Everyone who I'm satisfied with came through. It's all good. So yeah, the merge happened, and then there was a bit of aftermath as well. So Cab sent out some tweets. Let me pull those up actually, unless he's blocked me. No, he hasn't. Yeah, so there's like, imagine, there's just this one here. Basically, like, Cab out. Imagine finding out people leaving through Twitter at least had the balls to say something first. Oh, well, good luck with Fraser, great guy to follow, haha. So it's like a complete denial of any role to play with in this type of thing. Like, I took you through like kind of like the past red flags, like the solitary merger. Yeah, so the thing about the solitary merger is that there was an opportunity to have it just under the 1 Erudite flag, but and there was also a willingness, like Aloe also thought that Aloe was willing to have it be like a multi-clan thing to where you can be in both clans, but Cub wouldn't have it, if I remember correctly. Cub was like, no, this is definitely a separate clan, and if you join that clan, you're not joining this clan. So you couldn't multi-clan, you have to be one or the other, and that was a big power move, which is like a giant red flag, which basically tells you where his priorities are with all this. As long as he was leader, it was all good. But you can't be a leader, like you can be an Iron Man leader and just be a leader of your own thing. That's like true Iron Man mode. But at the same time, if there's no community, it's just like, well, fuck this then. You know, like at least have the balls to say something first. Well, you need to be the type of guy to warrant the respect to have people tell you that they're leaving, because it doesn't say anything about the people who left without telling you. It tells it more about you as a community leader. And again, the disparity between how we perceived Tyler as a leader versus how we perceived you as a leader. I'm talking to you directly. It's completely transparent here. No one told you because no one like wanted to tell you, because you didn't deserve telling. Like it was already dead by then. I told you out of politeness, but no one had to. And I strongly considered just leaving straight up, but I had to tell someone to derank anyway. So there's that. Yeah, and most of the back and forth between him and Frazier is just like, oh, you're just a liar. But everything that Frazier's saying is 100% correct from my estimation, from what I've seen in terms of logs from me and Frazier talking in the past couple of months or so. All these type of things. And I'll just say this, just because Frazier's involved on this side of the argument in air quotes doesn't mean, and it's very easy to throw Frazier under the bus considering his reputation in terms of like clout and drama and these type of things, and he's a shit stirrer definitely, but I think it warrants it from me if I say that I 100% agree with him in a situation. Like it's really weird to say. You know, it's just one of those things. So yeah, you anyway, back to just the aftermath of this whole thing, and hopefully it's going to die down soon. I've heard a few things about Erudite merging with Hexus. I'm not sure if I'm meant to leak that, but I just did. So I've heard a few things about that. I've read a few. I've talked to like one or two other people who I just wanted to get their opinions on it, and they definitely don't know the other side of the story, which I just told you about, the general dissatisfaction with a lot of people in the clan. One more thing as well is that just because Frazier's the one who sorted out this merger doesn't mean that he was behind it all. It tells you a lot that this could all be done in like a day or like 5 hours. Like that tells you how many people and like how many people moved over, like how much dissatisfaction there was with the whole thing. Like it's very, like Frazier doesn't have the amount of clout, although he's the clout demon. He doesn't have that much clout to like get all these people, some of them who don't really get along with him that well, just to move over like that. Like it doesn't happen that easily. And the fact that it was this easy means that it was already in the works for months now. This wasn't just a sudden thing, like straight behind his back, like, oh fuck it, we're just gonna leave and shit all over this whole thing. You know, this was definitely months in the making. Tyler being banned was the big thing that kind of shined light on how disillusioned most of the Erudite community was in. So I'll just say this: Erudite is dead. Cub is not a leader of the Iron Man community. He does not represent it. The Erudite community that you're looking for is in Omnia, and I highly suggest that if you want to find that old high level Iron Man community with a good bit of banter, with a very, very well structured foundation of skilling community in Omnia, then join Omnia as an Iron Man skiller. Because not only will we be able to be part of the #1 Iron Man skilling clan. Okay, it's just like, it's a meme, but it's true. Like, where's the lie? Where's the lie? Just tell me who's better. Like, no one is. Not only with that, but you can also join Solitary as well. Solitary have also said that, and Omnia have also said that you can join both clans. You weren't able to do that in Erudite, and that's very curious because that tells you all the motivation you need to know. How vindictive some people were in terms of trying to get back at some people for going behind their back or feeling disrespected. Well, don't be the guy who gets disrespected. Maybe that's the thing. Hopefully, a lot of lessons are learned here from all this. That in general, I think Parker said it best. That RuneScape drama is just big gay. It's just huge gay. Really, you don't really need all this. But I feel like this was all for the best. Tyler being banned, us kind of realizing, hey, there's something bigger going on in here than like how much of an influence Tyler had, and most of the people just kind of getting their shit together, in terms of finding a clan which is actually, you know, suited for who they are and not a false leader who did nothing, who cared but cared about himself more than the actual community. Because if you did care, then this shit wouldn't have happened as quickly as it did. It's not like, you know, we were just scheming. It's like a giant dissatisfaction. And I think another big thing as well, I'll reiterate, is we would have told you if we felt like you were worth telling and that we thought that you could do something about it. But that's just not the case. So I'll sign off with that. Join Omnia, because it's the #1 Iron Man skinning clan in old school RuneScape. And join Solitary. It is the #1 Iron Man PVM clan in old school RuneScape. I'll have a ramble out on Friday, but I thought this was just a much needed ramble for this particular issue. Otherwise, it would have just been in with all the other shit I'll be talking about. Like, I got decks, but we'll talk about that later. All right, see you guys.